it is the last week of summer. We decided to take the week off work, come down here to Keokuk, Iowa, to do the craziest revival we have ever attempted yet. My name is Kevin from Junkyard Digs, and this is Luke, Thunderhead 289. Don't screw him up this time, guys. And we're here in Keokuk, like I mentioned, to work on this. Buried back in these weeds, there's a 70 satellite. This thing hasn't moved since, it hasn't been on the road since the early 80s. The last I can remember it moving was somewhere in the mid 80s. So we're looking at somewhere 35-40 years before this thing's touched the road.
And it looks like it.
Yeah, it is seriously buried in there.
Yeah, this is probably the most aggressive situation we've ever tried to bring a car back from.
Yeah, this is going to be a challenge for sure.
Good thing I brought my pocket knife.
All right, Luke's going to go ahead and start digging in this weeds. We'll see if we can get the hood open, see if there's even a chance at life here. And then we'll move on to clearing out all the trees, making some room, and carrying on with the videos. Now, the way this series is going to work is that I'm going to take part 1 on my channel. Thunderhead 289 is going to have part 2 on his channel, and we're just going to hop back and forth. So, in order for you to see all the videos I'm telling you right now, you need to go subscribe to his channel. They're going to be a week, 2 weeks apart as I get them edited and uploaded. So the easiest way to keep on track of that is just subscribe. It's a button. It's that easy. So
yes, sir. Should be a good time.
let's get to it.
All right. Want to pop the hood first? If we can pop the hood. It's not good.
Exactly what the cameraman works to. Cool.
Yeah. Look at all the raccoon poop on top of it. That's new.
Nope. So back in February, a picture of this car was posted on a Facebook group for abandoned vehicles in Iowa. And I fell in love right away. And I was like, I have to know where this thing is. And we came and looked at it. And sure enough, it's a V8 3-pulley car, manual transmission, 3 on the tree, 70 satellite. So literally the perfect recipe. We've talked to the owner, got in contact with him. He's here today actually. We'll get to talk to him later. And I guess for now we're going to see if this thing has a chance in heck.
Yeah, take a look down in there. It is sitting in the dirt. We are really going to have to dig this out. It's definitely going to be
the hardest part of this might be getting the car out.
Oh.
Is it moving? It might be in gear.
It might actually be in gear.
Yeah, it's rocking the whole engine as you're doing it. So I think it's in gear.
That's a good sign though. It's pretty free.
There's movement right off the bat without soaking the cylinders or anything.
Well, there's not a bunch of water in it, so that's good.
Oil's clean.
It has a 2-barrel carburetor, it looks like. It's pretty crusty. If I don't get bit by something, I think it's seized up though. We'll see when we get into it, but I don't know. What do you want to do? Try and get into the car, cut everything away first?
Gonna run through the jungle.
Someone play some CCR.
Through the jungle. Here's our firewood for the week. Oh, by the way, if I didn't mention, here's our plan. We're 3.5-4 hours from home, and we thought there's no way in heck we're gonna get a motel down here and spend all that money. So we brought the rusted out camper van, and we're gonna camp right here in the woods and pull this car out. Like, can you get more wholesome than that? It's gonna be awesome. I'm so excited for this. Campfires at night, eat MREs I stole from the army, and pull out a Mopar that's been sitting for 35-40 years. There it is.
Oh, there it is, funnel. That, kids, is how you make a funnel. This video is sponsored by funnels. Timber! Oh, that way, that way, that way. Hello?
Things we're good at, cars. Things we're not good at,
Trees.
trees.
Dude, this is a heck of a tree right here.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that one.
That's like physically into the fender. So check this out. It's absolutely grown put my finger right in that cobweb. Absolutely grown into the fender there, which may have helped keep the car out of the dirt a little bit, but as you can see from the wheel, man, she sunk pretty good. It's pretty damp around here normally. Luckily, we caught it at a dry time of the year.
Hey Luke from Thunderhead 289. Do you have any videos on how to tune a tree?
I don't know, I feel like the tree just tuned me right in the back. And it's through it.
Press F for specs. 2, 3.
Ow.
Sorry. Ow.
No.
You about died. Look how gnarly this thing is.
That was rather frightening.
Pretty aggressive.
Is this a bad idea?
Yes. No, just...
Oh, it's right up against the car.
Yeah, and that's an axe and that's a car.
Oh, a little bit of free air conditioning never hurt nobody.
Yeah, it did.
Well, see ya.
While Luke's cutting that down with a rusty spoon, I'm going to see if I can count the rings on this guy. Wow, they had some hellacious growth years. That tree is 17 years old. Holy cow. So, the tree itself is 17, and it took a while to probably sprout, so I would absolutely believe 35 years on this car. Hopefully we can get the keys. The owner's looking for them right now. We'll get inside, see if we can find any documentation that concurs with that, and then do science.
It'll go now.
Dude, look at it flex the quarter panel. Just from like relieving the tension.
It's literally grown into the quarter panel. It's crazy.
17 years of stress being relieved. Maybe the door's closed and it's just...
Oh, dude.
Nah, it's definitely open.
You think?
Yeah.
Alright. Ready? Go. We can get it.
Go!
I'm just trying to go slow. Oh, this looks like Brokeback Mountain.
It's not yet. There we go. Should be enough firewood.
Yeah.
Dude, that's a pile.
That blew my gizzard.
So there it is for the first time in God knows how many years. This thing is seeing sunlight on its paint. Or what's left of paint.
Call it Dylan, pressure washer video.
Oh, look at. Oh, there's the keys.
Oh, we moved the tree. Is the door open now? Duh.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yes!
we missed.
We're in. And sure enough,
Your arm's in a cobweb. Whatever. No way.
there they are.
That looks horrifically staged.
There's a fuel key.
But I promise that wasn't.
Oh, why is it always a Briggs & Stratton key for the fuel key? This is the third car in a row that I bought that has that.
Do you think the window rolls down? Whee! Nope.
Is it seized up?
Oh yeah. It's pretty sunk. It's pretty sunk.
We've got it dug out, we've got the car open, and we have the keys. The three biggest things we were worried about: getting to it, getting in it, and getting these.
Yeah, because it has a steering lock, unlike our other stuff.
And according to Dylan McCool, who unfortunately cannot be with us for this event, he's not dead.
Our dearly departed.
He's at work, so he couldn't be here, but he told me 70 was the first year that they started the steering locks. So this has a steering lock, and sure enough, the steering's locked.
That would have been so bad.
But we're set. Well, I mean, maybe.
These are just the lawnmower keys.
Oh, that one says Ford on it. That's not good. Hopefully they just had all their keys on a ring.
Ooh. I don't know.
So those are keys. They might not be the keys, but come on, fingers crossed.
I don't know. Cobwebs are probably older than us in here. Oh! Nope. They went in there though.
Try pushing it in a little more. Can't get it out.
Nope. It's gonna get interesting, that's for sure.
Well, we went from really excited to double uh-oh. Not only do we maybe not have the keys, but now there's one stuck in it.
I don't know if those are the keys. It would make sense though, that's probably one of them, that the locking cylinder is
There's a whole bunch of different shapes of keys there, so who knows. Yeah, it's on the transmission side. We might have a bunch of trans issues, we'll see. Hopefully we can get it in neutral and then get the engine to spin.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those. If it wasn't a 70s satellite, we wouldn't even have tried.
There's a McDonald's chicken sandwich box under the seat. That's crazy. There it is.
Which one is it?
It's the square one.
So it is the keys. Hey!
It won't start.
Oh no, I think you just have a dead battery, eh?
See if you can find a date on that sucker.
I don't know if we're going to be able to read this or not.
Oh look, Luke.
Iowa City, it's an Iowa map.
A Mopar repair kit. Plastic glue.
Oh no. Oh shoot.
Bingo.
Oh, there's a newspaper.
Newspaper. Wow, that is old. Did you know you get a sirloin for $3.39?
Perfect.
So Byron said that he left for the military in the 1980s, and the car got parked, but his dad would move it around. Are these pants for a little child? They are. Okay, well, thanks. But he said his dad would move it around, and I'm assuming this box of whatever this is got thrown in there on around September 3rd, 1991. So that means the last time anyone touched this car was... Luke, help.
It's a math number, and it's greater than 20.
The last time anyone was inside that interior was 28 years ago. The last time this was on the road was 40 years ago.
These speakers are literally wired up just like this in this box.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That's the speaker
Oh,
holder.
is there another one over there? There is. They sat on the back seat.
Oh, that was so brittle.
What's that gasket? Is that a valve cover gasket?
Ooh, bad plan.
So we got a valve cover gasket. Hey, that probably means it was an oil burner.
Perfect. That means that the cylinders were probably good and lubed and didn't seize. We're lucky. Look at these nice tools that are in here though. That means that it's also definitely a Mopar because it was probably broke down a lot.
You know, those are some nice tools, but you know what tools are nicer? Tang tools.
Walmart.
No.
Oh.
Tang tools, Luke. Hey, does it have a locking seal cap?
It's behind the... What is that called? I wanted to say a Frisbee. It's the license plate. I was like, that ain't right.
It's behind the Frisbee.
I might be allergic to some of these shrubberies.
I can't even get it to turn.
Gonna have to drill it out.
That's going to be a mystery for later.
They're probably hosed.
So what do you say we go find Byron, tell him we found these, so he can stop digging his mom's house apart,
Yeah.
and then get the story from the guy, and show him the car we just dug out for the first time in I don't know how many years. What do we found?
Found a car.
I also found these.
The keys.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
They were on the dash, and we actually have the one for the ignition too, so we're set.
Oh, that's all. That's awesome. Well, thank you for finding them.
Yeah.
We searched everywhere for years.
I was like, hey, we should probably tell him where these are before he keeps looking.
No, this car, 1989, I started it up. My dad was starting it on then, but then he gave up on it. It was just kind of sad. But in 89, I took my girlfriend at the time to see a George Carlin concert, and she went crazy over the car. And then I stopped on the way back, just outside of Davenport there. That's where we went up to see George Carlin. And I said, here, I got out and let her take the seat and taught her how to drive us 3-speed. And that's when later on I asked her to marry me, and she said yes. And this was our car that we took on our anniversary. Took it down to St. Louis.
And then
Grant's Farm.
And it got parked in '89 was the last year, so it's been 30 years.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Holy cow!
My dad found this in 1979, and the guy that owned it was a farm parked in the back of their barn in the cornfield. Well, we found it.
It was only 9 years old.
Yeah, it was
Wow.
way back there. Then they made an agreement that when I got out of the service, it'd be mine. So then I bought it. I bought it. I'd have to look at the title. It's like 85 or something when I signed for it when I just got out of the service.
That's awesome. And here she is.
Her
And
name is Debbie.
Debbie?
Maybe the mice didn't eat the little love note that was in there. When I opened up the glove box the first time, there was a love letter in there. Some guy calling Debbie, and she said, "I'm in love with you." And I was like, "Yeah, I am too." So her name is Debbie.
That's awesome. I'm gonna have to keep that. Is that a bit of a time capsule, seeing the door or seeing the interior after so
The
long?
whole thing.
I bet.
Yeah, I had dreams of restoring it myself, but life got in the way and
Absolutely.
couldn't do anything with her. And they're still not going to get started.
You'd be surprised if
They're not. They're not. I forgot about the old tools. I was wondering what more is in the trunk. I think there's a lot of stuff in there, but I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Can't remember.
Probably is.
All these years. Yeah, when I went overseas, that kind of killed anything as far as trying to fix her or anything. And, well, if these guys didn't find it, it would have sat and sat and sat a lot longer. You gotta ask them nicely.
A few inappropriate jokes could have been made. They weren't. Proud of everybody. I don't know, I'm kind of reluctant. I kind of just want to drill it out.
While Luke's trying to get in the trunk, I'm going to try to get all the raccoon poop off the car, which is really hot because it's black. Oh, look at there. Oh, there's our status plate. So I'm going to take a picture of this data plate on the body here. I'm going to send it to Dill McCool, and he's going to give us a decode, and we can get some information on this thing. But as you can see, looking under the hood here, perfect recipe for revival. Manual everything. Manual steering, manual brakes, manual transmission, manual. All that good stuff. The battery tray's still good, which is interesting because it's full of rust. Like, I'm just scooping out rust right now, but it's structurally okay.
Oh, did you get the window? Yeah. That's awesome.
Went right down.
See, that's encouraging.
Everything just needs a little help, and then it goes. So what we need to do is get it out of here, and then work on it, which is backwards from what we usually do, but it's the same concept, just 20 feet from the grave, so we're not in all this, like, trees and stuff. And we can work on the nice grass.
Or else we'll end up in our own grave, I think. We'll try and do it here.
It's true. The ground is level with the top of the axle. I can just see the U-bolts. Wow. How do we do this?
I'll get you a couple shovels.
Yeah.
Put the dig in junkyard digs. You're gonna have to dig this thing out.
That's as good as you're gonna get, my friend.
Ooh, I just watched the quarter panel buckle. That ain't gonna work.
Well,
The hardest
yeah,
part.
I think the whole car up in the front is sitting in the dirt because it's sitting like this. So this whole side of the car is like sitting on the car, and since it's dry, it was wet and molded around it, and then now that the dirt's dry, it is what it is.
Maybe our best bet's getting the front out first, so that because we have a subframe up there.
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to it. Oh, it's coming though. It actually is coming. Yeah, let's dig out a little bit while it's loaded. Wouldn't you know it that the tree, its roots grew all around the tire. Makes for quite the arduous task in digging it out. Nothing a little good hard honest labor can't fix, I guess.
I reckon that old fossil ought to hold air.
Yeah, I think so. One of the other ones there has a big old hole in it, but you know, I don't visually see one right off on this one. Give it a shot, you think?
Yeah, what do you think? Put a bunch of dirt under it so it has a little support?
Yeah, well, or if we can find something, yeah, just whatever, I guess. Well, hold on, I got a piece of wood we can throw under it.
It's fine. Well, that's all I got.
That's enough room to put some air in it.
It's almost level.
It's taking air. I might get the shovel.
There's a rust stain in the dirt. All right, so we're gonna keep digging on this for a little bit. We're gonna try to get the whole front of the car up, level the dirt off under the tires and set it back down, and then we'll move on to the back. We'll be back when that's done. All right, so we got the front all lifted up.
And before, when we were jacking it up, it was trying to crease right in this area, but now it is all coming up. Now that we got the front out of the dirt.
Oh, there it goes.
Yeah, it's still trying to a little bit.
Damn it.
Well, can we get anything?
Can you get air in that tire?
No. There's a, well, maybe. Pretty big gash in it.
Nah. That doesn't mean anything.
We are so lucky. Look where this valve stem is.
I know, all four of them are up.
Exposed. Yeah, all we gotta do is get this last side, and then there's a whole other list of all we have to do things.
And that's before we can, you know, start on the revival.
You can tell these are Tang tools by the way they are.
By which he means really good, right?
Right.
Once again, there's rust stains where the body was touching the dirt up here. All right, go ahead and bring her down.
Okay.
Watch yourself.
Yeah.
Hey, that's a fast jack.
Yeah, it is.
So Luke's back here jacking up the car so we can get some dirt under the tire.
Dude, check it out though. That is, if I can figure out where we are with the camera, the float of the gas tank that rotted out of the bottom of it. That is literally what that is.
What the hell did I buy?
You can't make, that's why it smells like lacquered gas, because when we picked it up, the tank was sitting on the dirt.
So if your car is sunk in the mud for 40 years,
Probably move it before.
leave it in the mud. How about this?
That'll work.
There we go. So we got the car out of the dirt to the point where we thought we could jostle around to get the transmission in neutral, but now we realize all the tires are seized where they are, so
All right. Well,
fight it in the neutral.
yeah, that would be nice.
Do we put it down or leave it up? Yeah, let's put it down.
Well, heck, why not leave it up?
Because it could fall and break in half.
Oh, gee dang it, son.
Gotta remember, we're working on a Mopar here.
Mopar or we're...
Mopar, or hey look, there's almost no car.
Mopar or cardboard car. Well, amidst the shifter debacle, we have determined, after wrenching on the steering wheel a little bit, that it does turn and it has freed up. So at least we can steer it out of here. It's nice. It's the little victories.
The steering box is made of thick metal, so it still exists.
Oh yeah. Is that made by Ford?
So I just realized on this emission sticker that it says engine equals 318 cubic inches, so that is a 318. Right now we're trying to get this thing in neutral. That's the biggest thing we're fighting right now. It's just so rusty under there. And then we're going to drag it out, and that's going to be it for this video, and you can head over to see part 2 on Thunderhead 289's channel here on YouTube. Go check it out. There'll be a bunch of, probably a button up here right now, and it'll be in the description. So go subscribe right now so that you see it when it comes out in a week or whatever. We don't own it yet. I'm not just afraid to hit it. So one of two things has happened.
You broke it,
Or
it's moved.
yeah, it's worked, or it's never gonna work again.
A lot more ballsy with hitting it than I would have been. Oh!
Is that the far one?
Yeah, do whatever you just did. Slide the collar, jostle it a little bit when you're sliding it forward. All right, you got it. Try moving around.
Is that the far one?
Yep. Oh boy. Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, that was it. It freed it up.
You can
Let's
see
see.
if our engine turns over finally.
Moment of truth. Get some on the crank bolt, I guess.
Let me open my Tang tools.
Oh, there it is. Had a tight spot, but it's
Oh, dude, is that a full rotation?
no. But I think it will be. Oh man. It freed up though, went past the tight spot and just started going. It's moving.
Hey, do you know what this means?
It'll run!
She'll run!
Maybe.
Maybe. Good. What you got?
The tires are not moving, right?
No. They're literally sliding across that metal grate. But you moved 4 inches.
Dang old TDI don't have power, man.
What do you know?
What do you know? Should have had a Ford.
We get 2 vans.
It would totally, it would do it.
Okay, so mine, we can just loop around these corners. Yours, we probably have to go around the frame horn. Oh God. Stay on it! Stay on it! Stop! Dude, we did it! That was awesome. The craziest thing we've ever done. There it is, it's out of the grave. Oh, we cleared everything. Did the tires turn? No.
No.
They didn't turn at all.
Oh my gosh, it worked. What's under the car?
Oh yeah, come check it out.
A mouse?
Hey, come there, quick. There's a moose.
Oh,
Here, buddy.
He's got a whole house under there.
That's the mouse house.
Oh, you gonna pick him up, eh?
I'm gonna try. Oh, it's a vole, actually.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, we're gonna be friends. Someone grab my glove. Oh, quick. No. You're quick, but you're not very smart.
Tater bag.
He knows where all the holes are at.
Yeah.
He knows
He's
exactly
got the
where to
home
go.
field advantage here. He'll be back. There's the muffler, the exhaust.
Wow.
There's where the float was.
Here, look at.
Did you
There's the center section of the.
Yeah.
There's the
Yeah.
U joint. Oh, you can see the U joint.
Check this out. The old title.
You find her?
That's your title, and
Oh, sweet.
this is the satellite emblem for that side.
Oh, for the sports satellite.
We really didn't even use a lot of effort.
No, I felt like I did a wheelie, but my van was like, "Ugh," and then it moved.
That worked good. We just rolled into it slow. That's how we should probably do it here to continue on. Alright, I'm rolling into it. Rolling into it. Keep going. Keep going.
Nothing turned.
Yes. Just like we didn't want.
There it is. Now, let's see if we can make this thing run.
That was pretty scary.
That was something. We lived. Nothing broke.
If one TDI isn't good enough, two of them.
Thanks to the power of one normal engine. Alright, go get your ramps. The satellite is in orbit. I'm hilarious. Alright, push that one under. Alright, well, I can finally see under it. The floor pans are still there. How weird is that?
Is that the gas tank?
Oh, this is the 6 inches of dirt.
Oh, poke the gas tank. Oh, man.
Now it's just straps.
Oh, man, that's bad.
Oh, that's carpet right there.
Oh, is that whole thing carpet?
Well,
Oh, is that what?
not the whole thing, but there's no floor pan left.
You're a floor pan.
Look at the dirt up in the rear U joint.
Oh yeah, it was like sunk above the rear end.
This is insane.
Like the gas tank was a mouse house.
Just get this out of here. There we go. Hang on.
Oh, tetanitis. Really cold.
Here we go. Exhaust is off.
Yeah, I don't know why they always eat up the shackle. I mean, that's where all the salt goes. It makes sense, but yeah, they are pretty not there.
Yeah.
Like you hit a bump and your car is going to be a lowrider in the rear.
Hey, look at there.
That's encouraging. At least the trans, you know, has some resemblance of maybe being able to move, and the rear end probably moves. Probably if we can get the tires unseized.
This is bad, dude.
It ain't good.
Whew. Alright, well, it's time for day 2 of our satellite revival extravaganza. Last night we had a huge rainstorm here. Like, absolutely massive storm.
I thought we were going to be washed away.
I thought we were going to die. Today everything's a little wet and it's exceedingly humid outside.
Welcome to Iowa. It's also Louisiana. I'm glad it's here today and not in that mud hole.
That would have been awful. So let's go ahead and get digging into this thing. What's our first step?
Well, I think if we can get the air cleaner off and then just vacuum off all the crap, and then from there, just try and get some plugs pulled and everything off and get some lube down the cylinders. Let's take it one step at a time.
Sounds good. Let's begin. Ready? Up and off.
Light hood.
It is.
What do you think's under the filter lid?
The carburetor.
I hope.
Oh!
Oh, there it is. It has a huge mouse nest on the one side.
It'll run.
Kind of figured. Check that out.
Worry not. I run a vacuum. There you go. You can have that. You're welcome. Happy birthday.
Throttle seized, isn't it?
This thing sees solid, man.
It's gonna get a little interesting here if we can't make this one work, which it looks like it's pretty seized up. We'll see if we can free it up, but honestly,
Wait,
it looks pretty crusty.
Did you bring that 4 to 2 barrel adapter, or the 2 to 4 barrel?
It's probably in there. I brought a whole bunch of stuff.
Do you think we
so.
could flip that thing?
Well, I've always wanted to try that on something, and this might be the car. Although the bolt pattern's a little bit thinner on the Mopar than it is on like the Ford or the Chevrolet. So we'll just have to see if it'll work, but be a good opportunity to see if we can flip that thing over and, you know, try and run a 4 barrel on a 2 barrel intake. If nothing else, we lock out the secondaries, but we'll try it both ways if we can make it work.
This is going to be some science. I'm really excited for this.
Boldly going where no one's gone before. Because there's a reason why no one would do this.
Makes no sense. So let's grab an extension cord, bring it over here, fire up the vacuum, clean this whole thing off.
Yeah, I agree. Before we start pulling anything out of there. Don't want to drop any of that in the engine.
You knew. Give me the beans.
Go for it.
sucky. Well, the good news is inside this valve cover looks really clean. So maybe our engine just happened to stay sealed enough that we're gonna be okay.
Yeah, I really hope well, you saw it on your engine, you know, the valve train gets all rusty. So I just hope that,
I mean, the carburetor looks really clean inside.
there's hope, you know.
I think we can make it run.
That's the sign of victory.
How is there oil in that?
Yeah, it kind of sits in the rocker cup and it never leaked back down. But if you look in there, it all looks pretty good.
Dude, this thing's gonna run.
It might. There's a chance. I'm a lot more hopeful than I was yesterday.
This engine's blue, and that kind of almost looks like a small block Ford valve cover, so it'll run.
Kind
We
of.
just pretend it's not a Mopar. It might work.
Well, it's not a slant 6, so we're okay.
Oh yeah, you're fine. Well, wait, hang on. What if it's 2 slant 4s?
Oh no!
Ah!
That's actually not as rusty as I thought it would be.
I've seen worse.
Does the hold on? Does the advanced mechanism work? Da 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 da. Gonna move for me?
Yeah.
Oh hey, it did move. It probably works, kind of.
Maybe.
There's some
enough.
hope that it could work.
We'll clean up those points.
Oh my gosh, I think it actually might run. That's hilarious.
This nifty breaker bar. Look at this thing. It's an extension with a swivel, and you throw it in here. Now it's a breaker bar.
It's handy.
Like, who thought of this?
Crap.
Oh my god, are you kidding? Look at this. One hand. Don't mind all the stuff in the threads, that's for me trying to blow it out, but as far as the internals go, I mean, there's a little bit of rust in this plug, but it's not bad.
I mean, it definitely had a tight spot in it, but there's hope. Which, for laying in a swamp over there, is not terrible. That one's a little rusty.
That one's full of rust. That's probably our exhaust valve cylinder.
Yeah, there's always going to be...
Especially in this car. So, yeah, go ahead and explain this, because we went over this in the F-250 video, but a lot of people didn't understand how engines work, apparently. So we need to explain what happens when we mention, or when we say the exhaust valve is open.
So basically, there's a certain firing order to all the cylinders, and your valves are opening and closing all the time on most all cylinders, and a lot of the times the ones that have the exhaust valves open, the exhaust in this case being really exposed to the wet and damp environment, that moisture was allowed to come back up through the exhaust and then rust up some of the cylinders here. So, and likewise, you know, if you get a lot of moisture on your intake, you can have it on your intake side. But it looks like definitely, it was probably the exhaust side that got this one. See, that one's clean.
It's full of oil, though, which
That's
is good.
Right.
Yeah, we want an engine to be an oil burner if it's parked for 1,000 years.
Right. Yeah, you have a good opportunity. All the carbon and oil usually coats the cylinder up good, and it's kind of a rust deterrent. So, you know, that always kind of helps, actually, having a more worn out engine than one that was in good shape that ended up sitting. So we're going to use a little bit of heat to try and get this one spark plug out. Seems like it's seized in there pretty good. So put a little bit of heat on things, a little bit of expansion might break up that rust weld. If we were to round this off, it's pretty much game over.
Yeah, that would be awful. All right, go ahead. Yeah, we're good.
Really putting heat on it do that much?
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Rotation nation. All right, I can get it out by hand.
Yay! That's awesome. Woohoo!
I probably shouldn't touch this, should I?
No, it's really hot.
Oh.
That will be our stuck cylinder. So now it's going to be amazing if it runs. Oh, this has been all over the board today.
Yeah.
Now it's an adventure. This has some hope.
This is hopeful.
Hopeful. We are
Full of hope.
hopeful at the moment. So literally you can't get to these, and because you can't get to these, the last person didn't tighten them up very tight. So it's working out to be a benefit today. So these are always a pain. I always just opt to take them off. So gotta get a hook and not too hard. Down they go. Now they're not stabbing you in the gut the whole time. They're all rusty.
Well, those all came loose right away.
That's good. That must be our bad cylinder, that one. If we can run it and get it up to temp, it might free up the ring. And it might not.
I remember on the F-250, the day you weren't there, I was working on it, and it just started running better. And I was like, what the heck is that? And my Firebird did the same thing. It just started running better. And what it is the piston rings will be stuck. Not stuck in the sense that they're stuck in the cylinder, but they're compressed around the piston. And once those can snap out of that and make a seal, then, you know, it runs better.
Yeah, a little bit of heat, expansion, they can let go. That one's not bad. They all do have a little bit of rust on them though. We don't want it to be too easy on us, you know. Fun with that.
It won't be, it's a Mopar.
We haven't had an easy Mopar yet. I've never delved into the world of Mopar because here in Iowa, there really isn't any Mopars. This is like super rare for Iowa. It might not be rare in general, but rare in Iowa.
That one looks really good.
Oh, that's our mint cylinder we're gonna run on. Just one.
Yeah, so people tell you, oh, there's gotta be Mopars up in Iowa. There's not. I've said it 100 times, I'll say it again. Iowa's car populace in the 60s, 70s, 80s was determined by the economy. The economy in Iowa was strictly farming. Everywhere around us is a cornfield right now, beyond those bushes.
Yep.
And if you're a farmer in the 80s, and the 70s, and the 60s, when money is rough, what do you drive for a vehicle? Probably something utilitarian, because you don't have, you know, extra money for fun vehicles. So you drive a farm truck or a four-door Ford passenger car, or a four-door Chevy passenger car. And if you go to junkyards here, that's all it is.
Yep.
You go back behind sheds, that's all it is. Now you get down to this river town of Keokuk, apparently there's a few Mopars around here. And we found one, because it's a river town. A lot of the industry around here was industrial, and people didn't need a specific, like a purpose-built car. They could have a fun car to drive around. So you find Mopars. Now, the bad side of that is we're in Iowa, and everything's rust, so you find half of a Mopar. Case in point, the rusty satellite, the Rattlite.
The rust heavy. It's not a rust light. I don't think that's doing any favors.
Well, Luke fights his favorite thing in the world. I'm going to put some transmission fluid down each cylinder. We want to fill them up pretty good, right?
Yeah, you know, it wouldn't hurt.
There's some for that one. I'm just going to give them the same amount and keep going around and around. This is going to help free up those rings. Let it sit in here for a bit, and it'll have some lubrication on the top end before it builds oil pressure, if it can build oil pressure, as we're cranking it for the first time in 35 years.
Phew. This is good and corroded on here, I'll tell you what.
Get it?
Yeah, finally. Yeah, it like rusted, or just corroded itself on that one side.
Throw the vacuum down in there, huh?
So the encouraging piece about this is that if you look at the underside of the carburetor, it's really not all that corroded or rusted up, so a lot of moisture didn't make its way inside the engine necessarily. I think what's holding us tight here is our linkages and our throttle shafts have, at our ends, corroded around the carburetor itself. So we'll see if we can get that freed up, but there's a good chance we're going to have to get a little creative with this intake manifold, because this is pretty messed up here, and we'd really need to boil this and do some extra stuff to make it work. We'll see.
Alright, so there's a quart into the engine. That's going to sit in there while we do valve covers and all that other fun stuff. Give it the best chance we can, and then we'll tap the starter. If the starter works, and it'll go bleh, and there'll be oil everywhere. Triple homicide.
I can't even move the carburetor linkage with channel locks.
Is that bad?
It's bad. Look at that. Just bent the thing trying to. It's done. I'm just gonna go with it's hopeless.
Is ripperoni?
Yeah.
Toss it in the fire.
Yeah. We're gonna have to get creative.
Look at this. The engine is the only part of this car that's going to be this easy to remove bolts off of.
Yeah.
The rest of the car, impossible.
Don't you love these little clips like this that are just
So much.
They're just the greatest.
They are just a marvel of engineering. Like, what if we invented some kind of a band strap with a screw in it that would tighten as the screw is turned?
I know, I'm just gonna. I can't even bust it.
Yeah, you're right. That's ridiculous.
Why would you do that?
I don't know.
Why would you even use those from the manufacturer?
I don't know.
It's too commonplace. That's too common, folk. We can't do that.
There.
Oh, well, I guess
Alright,
it wasn't
that
on
was
that tight.
Dude,
Well, that's probably because it's mint underneath.
Holy cow. Was this thing built? Look at it. There's not even like sludge build up in here.
That's pretty good. Look at that. Nothing.
You would think you just built this engine.
I bet you the internals are good. It's just the cylinder walls in this case. So.
There's paint on the... What the hell?
Someone had it out or something before and reshot it.
Maybe they did a valve job on it.
Who knows?
That's probably why the hood was off.
It's been out before, I think. Hard to say. Oh,
That's a collapsed lifter. Because it's so springy.
yeah, it sure is.
It just needs pumped up. It'll probably be fine.
Yeah, well, give it the benefit of the doubt. It's been a long time.
Those ones are good. That one's not. That one's not. That one is. That one is. That one is. We got that one. That one and that one.
These two seem kind of seasy.
Yeah. So, good thing we took that off. It looks like we got a couple stuck valves.
Yeah, a lot of folks, when they find this stuff that's been sitting a long time, they'll just go and ram jam into it and try and fire it off. And what was probably potentially a good engine, they'll end up just destroying the thing. So if you take your time here and go through it nice and slow, you know, you give it the best possible chance to succeed. And, you know, with the original owner here, it'd just be really nice for him to see the thing run. And that's what we're going to try and do for him before he heads out.
Had this turned over perfectly freely, we probably wouldn't have worried about the valve train, you think?
Well, yeah, in most cases, if it doesn't have a tight spot, it's not super concerning. But if you feel the slightest tight spot when you're going through the thing, it's always good to stop and check, because there's not supposed to be one. So if there is one, you know,
Then there'd be one.
It is an anomaly that is not normal. So it's always nice to know at least what it is. Oh, hang on. Okay. Minimal dirt fell in.
Wow, look at that.
I don't know, it's pretty clean.
That's incredible.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's either was a crate engine, you know, like a warranty engine or something, because I don't think and Dylan, someone will probably chime in here that knows Mopars, but typically you don't see a bunch of engine paint on the valve train that's all overspray from someone painting it up really quick.
Look at this.
Ooh, it was starting to get the rust.
8 more years, it would have been gone.
Yeah, that's close.
Alright, usually I like to use a rubber mallet for this gently, but
We don't have one.
yeah, all we have is this brass mallet, so I'm just gonna be careful. Good. Good. Nope. Yep. 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 So that one and the one that's down. Which is odd that, oh yeah, look at it, it's stuck down.
Yep, sure is. That would stop us, I'm sure.
So if you can see from that view, this one and this one are stuck down, see how they're lower? So we're gonna fix it with a hammer.
Yeah, look, it's still going. Hopefully it gets enough spring pressure. So they're back up. Oh, now we're gonna get creative because it is at coil bind.
Interesting. Alright, well, rinse and repeat.
Yeah, those are stuck. So we got 4 stuck valves. If we would have tried to have run it, it would have been curtains. Might be curtains anyway, but that would have been over that fast.
Curtains?
Yeah.
Oh, like that's it. End of the show.
Yeah. He's learning today.
It's my first day outside. I don't like what I'm doing, but we're getting a little running start with the piston. Oh, now it's getting easier. And we're able to push that valve back up.
There it goes. I'm standing in the wrong spot. We don't necessarily condone anything we're doing. Oh boy.
Well, it's not up all the way, but it is up to where you can spin the engine.
Yeah. Well, do you want to we'll just have to work it back and forth until it...
Yeah. This might take an hour, but we're going to play with this valve. We'll be back if we make any progress. Perfecting our method off camera. We got that one to free up. We're going to see if we can show you how we did it on this side. I just hit it with a hammer.
Yeah.
But it started to work around and then freed up just fine.
The encouraging part is those were 2 of the rustiest ones. They're not seized, right? Give them a good tap.
Those
Yeah,
ones are
so
good.
that's good. That one is definitely...
Wow. Those ones are stuck.
Oh, well. Okay, stop. Before we get to coil bind. It's like a whirlwind of encouraging and then not encouraging.
Yeah. So yeah, no.
Oh, hey, there it went.
Want to hit it back down or?
Yeah, it's gonna... Hold on, let me get the piston out of the way. Alright, give her a good what for. Alright. The positive side is when it comes up, it comes all the way up. So that other one is not that case. I can get that one up with my arms now. Go again.
There it is.
Yay!
And it's fixed, just like that. Just wait for that ting of all the crap and the guide to break loose, and your valve was back to operating condition.
That is probably the most shade tree that is not the most shade tree thing we've ever done, but it's up there. Don't do this.
Yeah. Don't roast us in the comments because we know how bad this is, okay? Give us a break. We're in the middle of nowhere.
Oh man. Okay, stop. Let me just figure out where the piston is, and ooh, that one's not so bad. It's getting easier. It's getting way easier.
Give me that super satisfying pa-ting. Good?
Yep.
Oh, hang on.
Thinking about it. There it is.
Fixed. This is so sketchy.
If this runs, it's gonna be a miracle.
Yeah, if these valves aren't bent, this is gonna be incredible.
Hey, to be fair, we didn't try and start it with them, so. And that isn't to say someone didn't do it years ago. So we only got one more. This is our problem child.
Now we know the method now.
It's getting there. It's way better than when we started. Alright, letter B. This is definitely ornery. I bet you no one's ever done this level of stupidity. Who am I kidding?
There's probably people that recommend this.
Every 5,000 miles, hit your valve train with a hammer. Mopar, or no car.
It's fine.
Let's take it all the way to coil bind. That's good. Yep, it's getting easier. Dude, this is exciting.
The engine's pretty smooth going over.
Oh yeah, it's just the valve train. It'll spin totally perfect. Alright.
It's still a son of a gun to get down. Believe. Come on.
I know, it's pretty bad, but it is getting better. That's the exhaust valve, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the intake valve.
No, that's exhaust.
Well, derp, it's not this one. Math.
Math.
With eyes. It's geometry. Is it bad that we're engineers? Or
Yes.
America?
We're actually engineers. It's a true story. We both went to Iowa State for industrial technology, as they call it, but as the rest of the world calls it, applied engineering.
We're applying our engineering with this hammer.
Yeah, here, let me apply some engineering for you real quick. Ah, yes. Oh, math. I think 20 more times we'll have it. Oh, oh, come on.
We want to try and pry it up.
Yeah, we can try that again.
This part really pains me. Go up on the top coil.
Hey!
Oh, that worked.
Ta-da! We have valve train.
No,
old son.
no freaking way.
It just needed to come up higher the whole time.
We just had to apply some engineering.
So what we're gonna do now is put the rockers back on. Do a few rotations of the engine, make sure the valve train is good to go, make sure everything's returning to where it needs to be. And then we're gonna valve covers, hot wire it, see if it cranks. Out of everything we've done, the thing I'm doubting the least to work is the starter. Because that starter sat in the mud.
That will be honestly more amazing than what we just did.
Yeah.
If it's probably caked with mud and mouse house and everything else.
If it does work, it'll be like...
It's gonna be unique, that's for sure.
Question, isn't doubting the least mean you have faith in it?
Shit.
All right, so we're tightening back down our valve train, and honestly, I've never done one of these before, so offhand, I'm not sure. I know on the Ford FE it has kind of a sequence that you would do so that you don't bend anything. And keeping that in mind here with doing these, I'm just giving it about a turn or so, and then I'm just going out to the sides, and I'm just trying to bring it all down even. And basically what it's doing is it's pushing the push rod into the little cup on the lifter, and it's basically setting the lifter preload. And these are technically non-adjustable units, so you torque them down and go. But the first thing you got to do is get them all run down before you would try and torque them. So if you tried to torque one of these before it was all seated, you know, it would just be bad news. So we're just going to take it nice and easy, and we should be okay.
Alright, so we got our valve train all buttoned back up.
Fingers crossed, no valves hang. Oh, this is a dumb place to stand. That one went down and came back up. That was questionable.
Dude, this thing turns over like butter. Like you would think you were driving this yesterday.
Yeah, the bottom end seemed good. It was the valve train hanging us. That's exciting. There's hope. There is a sliver of hope again.
This thing will run.
So the starter is a whole thing in and of itself. I think we're going to have to pull it off. There's a little inspection plate on the bell housing, so we'll get down there and see if we can get a look at what's going on with the clutch. The pedal went down, it didn't really return. I mean, I'm sure the snout of the trans where the throb bearing is
all rusty and to heck.
Yeah, so we can get down there and just kind of work it back and forth like we did the valves. You know, maybe there's a chance that we could even put it in a gear. That would be pretty exciting.
Absolutely. Alright, so that's our next step. Let's hop to her.
Gone. I'm actually amazed these are even coming out because they're steel bolt into aluminum and dissimilar metals like to permanently bond forever.
It looks pretty gross inside. I can see it from here.
Yeah, there's definitely a mouse nest inside of that.
Oh, I wouldn't shift either if my linkages looked like that. Ooh.
I know,
Everything's fine here.
Pretty rough. Rat.
What was that?
My socket.
Your Tang tool socket? Oh, undercoating. Oh, paint! I mean, right next to the paint, I can put my finger through the floor. Exhibit A. Oh boy.
Is it full?
Oh yeah.
Starter's out. Oh man, look at that. That was a mouse nest.
And a half.
Oh, that brings back memories, don't it now?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yep.
You know, I think we'll just leave that up.
Yeah, I think you're right.
If you're going to park a manual car for a long period of time, it's actually always a good idea to push the clutch in and then put a board in there or something so it keeps the clutch pedal pressed down, or else you can have a whole host of weird things happen. Like this probably welded the clutch disc to the pressure plate in the flywheel. And some other fun stuff you can have happen if you sit a long time.
Tang tools.
So it was stuck pretty good. but using the old pry bar, it is turning. So that's
Are you kidding
exciting.
me?
No.
Well, let me get a booster pack. Let's see if we can spin it.
Yeah, it should be sitting right there.
So there's the Bendix working.
Do we need to have power to both? Like, I
think so.
I actually don't get it. Oh.
Does it have a brake?
I don't know, dude.
Oh. You think we use that?
Well, it moves.
Yes.
Now, it definitely did not before. So
I've seen better starters, but I've also seen worse starters, so we'll see.
this one has a lot of heart, though.
We got something to show you. Oh yeah.
We think we do. We don't even know yet.
Ready?
Oh wait, let me.
Don't stand anywhere on the sides.
Let's walk over here. I've made this mistake before, and I think I've learned.
Ready? Let's see if it cranks. It just got faster. Did you hear that?
They're all going up and down.
You see oil coming out anywhere?
No.
Should I keep going? What do you think?
Oh, I would just let it rotate a little bit more. I didn't watch all these valves. It's got everything. They're all going up and coming down.
God, that starter sounds horrendous. It does.
That was a huge milestone. So that's exciting.
So for the first,
Unbelievable. Wow. Familiar sound.
is it?
Yeah, that's the motor.
You haven't heard that in 35 years,
Probably
right?
has, yeah.
New plugs, everything for ignition. We might need to get that going. Some oil. So once we get it running, get a little heat into it. Let that old oil kind of all settle at the bottom. Then we can drop it so we get all the sludge and stuff.
Yeah,
Mix
honestly,
it all up and get it out.
It looks pretty good.
It does.
Normally we wouldn't try and do that, but this stuff looks pretty good in this engine. As odd as that sounds.
I'm gonna start putting plugs in. Luke's gonna do
I'm
ignition ordeals.
just gonna see what we have and what we don't have.
There's not much to talk about on the side of plugs, so I'm gonna have Luke show you guys a couple things about ignition.
All right, so while Kevin's getting the spark plugs in here, I'm just testing out our ignition components. Just in the meantime, so right now what we have is our ignition on, so our coil is currently energized, and then I've run auxiliary wire from the negative side of the coil, and basically what I'm going to do is drag it across the ground, and this does the same thing that the points do in that I'm interrupting the ground of the coil and it'll discharge to the spark plug that we just dropped if it's functioning the way it's supposed to. So as you can see here, as we drag it across, it's making intermittent ground, and if you look really close to the spark plug, you can see that it is actually sparking. I don't know if that shows up on the camera there. So if you can see it there, it's always going to be a very light spark.
It's really weak on that plug, so. But it is there, so our coil's good.
Our coil is good, and you can do this to test out any ignition coil. They all pretty much work the same way. We know we're good there, so we'll clean up our points, and I've already taken our distributor cap and ohmed out all the plug wires to the terminals in the cap, so we know that those are good. So we're getting pretty close. It's looking pretty promising at the moment.
Do you perchance have any videos that they could find online of how ignition systems work, or anything like that?
You know, I sure do. So if you want to leave a link,
Ding! Right here.
oh, it's there.
It's there. It's on the corner. Let's see if we have power to our points.
Well, you can hear it. I don't know if you can see it.
Ah, there's power there. So yeah, we have power to the points. The points just aren't any good. What do you say we try to sand them and then change them if we have to?
It's always fun to try and use as much for the original parts as we can, so we'll try and sand them up and see if they'll live.
Absolutely.
So if you want to ever test out if your vacuum advance is indeed working, basically you pull vacuum on this canister and it has a lever attached to the advance mechanism, and when it's doing what it's supposed to, when you put a vacuum on this, it should advance the ignition timing, and you should not be able to pull air through it. So I can pull air right through this thing, so that's obviously hosed. So when we run today, if we do get to that point, we're going to be on only our mechanical timing, which is fine, we can live with. But for your cars that you really care about, that's always a quick way you can check if your vacuum canister is working. You should not be able to pull air through it, and when you suck on the hose that's attached to it, as awful as that sounds, the mechanism should advance. You're looking at me real strange, like, oh God.
So, if you guys want to learn a bunch of things / see the next part of this series, go subscribe to Thunderhead 289, because that's what you literally need to do if you're on my channel. It's a 2-part channel. It's me and Luke. We do a lot of stuff together. We do a lot of stuff apart to really get a hold of all the content for free here on YouTube. Free. Go head over to Thunderhead 289 and hit that subscribe button. Alright, so there's one valve cover tighten. Yeah. Wing the other one down. Luke's gonna put together our ignition system.
Alright, so we're gonna check for spark. We have the whole ignition system hooked up at this point. We have one of the old spark plugs here hooked to just one of the plug wires, and if everything's good, when we turn the engine over, we should see spark.
We also are testing if the starter can crank an engine under compression. First try. Here we go.
Oh,
that is a potato of a starter.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's what he said. It cranks slow. Alright, let's try it again. I got a different ground. I didn't see anything in particular. This is what's happening. Hang on.
The ballast resistor's pulling too much out.
Well, when you turn your key, this is how Fords work. The ballast resistor is factored out because the voltage drops it low enough so that if you have a ballast resistor in line, it's not enough voltage for things to work right. And then once you let off the starter, it goes back where it's going through the ballast, and then it's fine. So I wonder if, since we're doing it like that, why don't, when you touch it, I turn the key
to start.
Right.
Oh, science.
And I mean, I could just be blowing smoke, but
really?
Yep.
That should still make noise at that speed.
I don't know.
That's a decent. Why is there smoke coming off from inside the cab?
Unhook the battery.
Done.
Yep. I think that is the end of us using the key.
It's coming out from the column.
Yeah, it's coming from the column. Can't make this stuff up. That's a good catch.
The smoky satellite.
Okay, yeah,
I've
now
been waiting for that to happen on a revival too. This is like a car of firsts.
So yeah, I think we're gonna go back to hot wiring it.
Yep, I agree. Oh look out, there's more smoke over there.
Oh,
a
yeah.
fire.
Campfire has an electrical problem.
So, what we got here is our lamp chain.
This is bad.
And our momentary switch. Here we go.
It's turning over too slow to do anything.
I don't know if we have spark. We might have to replace those points. Oh. Did you ever clean that?
No, that'll do it.
That'll do it. Downside to the lamp chain, you gotta have both hands.
That's the only downside.
Well, the points appear to be working. I can see a spark jump them when I do this, so
Yeah,
maybe it really was just the rotor.
was gonna say you got spark. So is the rotor hanging us up.
I guess let me check my phone and see if Dylan answered my question. Dear Dylan, are these cars known to crank at half the speed of smell? So what you said, starter is weak. So we'll try this and then we'll go buy a new starter, I guess. Which sucks because they're like 80 bucks, but I don't know, maybe it'll fire this time. Use the enrichment modulator. That piece of sandpaper, yeah, that's it. Ready? I don't think our timing's right again.
My skin, hair, it hurts.
That was awesome. Well, I don't think our firing order's right.
You don't think so?
Well, let's see.
We didn't
Every
change
time
it.
it's made noise, it went out the intake. Yes, I think it's wrong.
I don't know. We didn't check it, and what has happened with everything that we've almost
Ever done
didn't
ever.
check?
It's
Yeah,
always
it's always been
in
wrong.
the wrong firing order.
Yeah, I think we need to hop on the old Google and figure out which one is cylinder 1, and then maybe, you know, pull the plug, figure out which is the top dead center, you know, because we can be 180 off, and then set the timing up, and we got that one timing trick we can do, and then we should be okay. But I think we have some issues here. Probably didn't run at some point like every other thing, so someone goes and monkeys with it, and the first thing they do is turn screws on the carburetor and move the distributor 10,000 miles. So
1843657 should have known.
it's hanging out right here, and it is at 0 right now, so it's either a mile off or it's a whole cylinder off.
Yeah. So we need to loosen up that distributor and pray to the gods
That it moves?
that it moves.
Yeah.
I do not foresee it moving. Man, wouldn't that be something? We come all this way. Everything's perfect. And we can't get the distributor to move to get the thing to run.
I think we can torch it enough, it'll move.
We'll just turn the cap.
Alright, so the first thing we gotta do is try and get the distributor free, and you know, typically with cars that sit a long time, the distributor being a dissimilar metal to the engine block, they tend to like corrode together, and it becomes pretty difficult to, you know, get them to move. So we do have the bolt loose, which is amazing. So now,
Please just turn.
I know.
Please just go. Oh yeah, yeah. Let me just help you out there, guys.
I was hoping for that, but I guess not. Big surprise. This is like the last thing. The last melon. Just move it. Once it... Oh, hey, it's going though. America! Oh, dude. Okay, that
We
was...
finally got a good high five. Here, Luke. I have this huge can of penetrating oil.
Smells so good. Oh, there it is.
Yes. Okay.
That was scary, I will say.
It's on this side of the cam. So it's going to be a clockwise. So to advance it, you turn it.
Counterclockwise.
Yes.
So it was way advanced. And that's why it was coming out the intake valves.
The weird part is that the bolt was tight, and it was like that. Like someone's like, meh, tighten down. Oh, it doesn't run. Put it in the weeds.
Well, you know what most folks do? It's like they hear someone say, "Oh, just advance the distributor till it won't start anymore." You know, I don't necessarily go under that ideology. So
People say that?
that's a real thing.
Stop saying that. That's dumb.
Well, what do you say?
Yeah, let's do it.
Give her the carb cleaner and
Give her the old one too. Alright, first noise it might make besides a fireball through the intake in a million years.
oh, it sounds like an engine now at least.
Oh, dude, here it goes.
Yeah, it's gonna do it. Oh, Luke, I know.
Alright,
Hey,
go.
get something to choke it with a little.
Yeah, just more fuel.
Okay.
It's so close!
I know. That starter is a champ. That went from seized to cranking it just non-stop.
I think we just need a better starter.
Kind of. Right now, with how slow the engine seems to be turning over, we did call the local O'Reilly's.
Do you guys have a starter for a 98 Dakota with a 318?
And they do have a starter that will work on this particular vehicle, even though it's not for it. So we're probably going to go and pick that up just to spin it a little quicker. But in the meantime, we've spun the engine over enough that we should have been able to see if oil was coming up to the top of our valve train, which, as you can see, we pulled a valve cover just to verify before it did fire for any length of time. And you can see that we do have oil getting to the top of the engine. That means it's moving out through everything and probably has decent oil pressure considering it was turning over so slow. With that, I think we're going to go through and just make sure our ignition timing is firing right when we want it to, and there's a method that we can go through to do that. Alright, so this is a really cool trick that you can do if it's like you're firing an engine up for the first time and you don't want to be chasing your ignition timing around. Basically, you can get it very close to where you want it to be without having to do a lot of guesswork. So what I've done is we've come to the compression stroke on cylinder 1. We have cylinder 1 spark plug out and touching to a nice clean ground. And then I've taken the crank and turned it to 10 degrees before top dead center. And what we're going to do is now turn the distributor, and when it sparks on cylinder 1, we know we're very close to 10 degrees. So now I have it retarded. We're going to advance it. And there, right there, you saw it spark. So now we know we're probably somewhere between 10 to 14 degrees before top dead center. So we know our timing is very close and we're not going to have to monkey with the distributor to fire this engine up. We know that that's good, and we can look at other things as to what might be stopping us from running the engine, if there is anything at this point. So anyway, that's just a really cool trick you can do, and it works pretty well. So yeah, do you have anything to add?
Subscribe to Thunderhead 289 on YouTube.
And we're prepping to put another carburetor on here eventually. Oh, you weren't supposed to see this part.
What are you doing?
I had to make a little clearance if we were going to try and run a different carburetor. Throw that sucker. Oh, it's over by me.
You can't just take that off? Oh, it fits?
I don't know if it's close to exhaust stuff. How much are we still hitting?
No, it's not going to work.
No way I could battering ram it out of the way.
Oh, let me see your hammer.
I think you can.
Think so?
Try now. I applied some engineering.
It's getting
Ooh,
closer.
close.
It is a heat riser. Here, let's just do this. Can we cut some of this off and put it back in as a plug?
Probably.
Like if this sits on there. How much room do we have over there? None.
No, we can make it work. Hot, 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 hot. There we go. That ought to be out of the way of our adapter plate now. Nothing a little heat can't do, you know? Cooler off in the cooler. What the hell did you do over there?
I turned the crank with the wrench and it fired a cylinder. Not shitting you.
What?
It's looking pretty good, so we're just gonna
America.
hammer it over so it seals. Seals in quotes.
Good enough. Doesn't sound like the Wildcat. That's what the Wildcat sounds like. Or my butt. You decide.
The little starter that couldn't. Done.
Well, we thought we'd see if we could get this one to work, so we got a little starter fluid.
Did it work?
Nope.
This is the worst starter.
Ready for your favorite bolt?
No.
He's
Actually, there's 2 of them now.
Oh.
So it
Actually,
already
this should thread on with your fingers now.
It should be fine. It shouldn't be so bad.
Should.
It's a different size. It's a 1/2 inch.
Oh, it's probably metric.
Oh God.
What?
You gotta be kidding me!
A 9 mil? Who uses a 9 mil nut? No one. They're 8s or 10s. That's it. 9 mil's like one of those 11 and 30 seconds. You find it once in your life.
I can't even believe that that's what it was.
Oh, that's so stupid.
Like,
That one's on the remanufacturer. That's on their behalf. But this stupid starter design is on Mopar's fault. Who put the starter over here where all the clutch linkage and everything is?
Oh,
when over here you have, let's see, nothing. What? We'll hook it up and it'll crank so fast that the fan alone will pull the car off the stuff it's sitting on. Maybe this will be the time I drop the battery in and life comes out of it.
well, at least the starter hasn't laid in mud for 30 years.
Well, probably did. But
At some point.
then it got remanufactured. And it's probably going to be a bad starter.
Oh no.
If that happens and we just burn the car down, are we in agreement of that?
I don't have a lot of faith because it had a 9mm on it. 9mm nut.
Right?
10,000 times better.
It's literally going to run. All right, here we go. For the first time in 1,000 years. Did you make any of that in there?
Yes.
Rag. Oh, look.
Oh, shoot.
Let's just take the spacer off before it gets too hot. Ah! It's very much on fire, it turns out.
Cameraman even laughed. So basically what was happening with our bad starter is that the engine was cranking over so slow, and we have enough weak cylinders or cylinders with stuck piston rings that it couldn't make enough compression to actually fire those in any way, shape, or form close to properly enough to actually run. So the faster we spin it, you know, the more we can overcome that bleed down effect that we have from all of our stuck rings. So now it should spin pretty good. There you go. Like no effort.
Throw a little more down there. One more time, then we'll go get Byron and show him that this car runs for the first time in 35 years.
Yeah, just imagine if there was a carburetor on it.
Probably run pretty good. It'll probably stop catching on fire. Go to sleep. You still up the house?
Yeah.
Hey, we got something to show you.
Okay, on my way out.
All right. All right, new starter's on. Ready? Yeah, until we can get a carb on it, we're gonna have it backfire all the time. But it runs.
It runs.
It runs.
It'll light off with a carburetor, or you can regulate it a little bit.
Well, I mean, here, let's try this.
Cover up one hole.
Yeah.
There we go.
Pretty close.
Good go.
Maybe I can cover half that one. Yeah, there we go.
There.
This is a carburetor.
You may be a redneck. You survive for a carburetor. Uh-oh.
Oh man, did we lose the starter?
Hang on.
That's just the trigger. You hear it going.
If that died, you're gonna kill someone. That starter is such a pain in the ass.
That's like a very difficult starter to change, and that's me using friendly terms.
What the hell? Are you kidding me?
Oh man. But at least I feel confident enough to actually continue on with the intake.
Solenoid shot.
Well, the solenoid is alright. See, we bypass the actual solenoid and everything. We go right down to the thing. But it has like a solenoid that throws the Bendex, and when it does that, it must have a plate that contacts the cable, or the, you know, the main power for the motor or something, and somehow that's not making connectivity in there. Because it's throwing, what you're hearing is the Bindex going out, but there's no motor turning it. Well, if
we used it for 4 minutes.
it is too bad.
So far, why? You know what the problem is, Luke? There's a pentastar on this starter.
Gee dang it. Anyway, we're just trying to fill up the radiator here because it wasn't, or it was empty when we pulled the car out, so that's kind of odd. So we're just going to fill it up with water and see if there's any leaks, or if when it got parked it got drained. But anyway, stay tuned. It's going to be a pretty interesting episode.
Let's get started.
Oh, I don't have the hose clamps on.
Hey,
though.
that's glycol. That means it's not frozen.
Yep. Oh, that's good. Look at that Motorcraft. There's a Motorcraft part on it.
Wait, where at?
Right here. Motorcraft.
Well, no wonder that hose is so good. It's made by Ford.
Oh no.
Why have we never done a small block Ford revival?
Watch, it would probably be like the worst thing ever.
So while Byron, the previous owner of the satellite's still here, curiosity has gotten the best of us. We want to see what's in this trunk besides the ground.
Yeah, there's probably something in there.
And we couldn't get the keys to work, so here goes the drill bit.
We're hopeful that it's the locking cylinder that's seized, considering the doors we can't get it either, but it could very well just be the mechanism inside. Oh, no way.
That worked so good. All right, here we go. We got some Tropicana twister cans. Oh, there's a coil.
Here's a condenser.
Yeah.
So someone was probably messing with the ignition there.
Yeah, and my dad did this because this wasn't in here.
Oh, there's the starter relay. Isn't that what that is on this car?
Oh, the whole
Oh, maybe not.
module thing.
Well, I think it is.
Here's a monkey wrench.
Hey, look, more plug wires.
Yep, plug wires. He was absolutely working on the
Yep.
ignition. Do you want your ice scraper back?
Hey, we're probably going to need this later. Look at all that leverage. That is actually going to be handy.
It's covered in ants too.
Bah! That's a blanket?
Is that a thermostat under it? Right?
It sure is. I'm just going to pull this and run. Oh, no.
Just throw it right on the fire, Luke. Or not.
Yeah, burn it up.
Oh, man, you could develop your film.
Is there?
That would be crazy, but I don't think there is. I think it's empty. It is empty indeed.
Dang, that would have been awesome.
That would have been neat to see.
Lead substitute. Hey, look at that. Now, does that ring a bell of something maybe we
There's
should know?
ants crawling all over your hand.
There are indeed.
Holy cow, look at them all over there. There's their nest.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
Whoa.
look at them all. Eggs.
Luke, get your torch.
Yeah, but kind of, actually.
Isn't this all flammable?
Yeah, maybe. We'll just give them a quick shot. Ready? They are all dead now. We got Luke, one more.
Good aim. So, I don't know, lead substitute in 70, did they not have hardened, did they still have lead in the fuel?
Your hand's still covered in ants.
Oh, well, you know.
Well, this might not have been for this car, you don't think? Do you
Probably,
remember?
it could.
Well-
Yeah, it could be the other cars that you're finding.
70 is like, I think they still had, I don't know, we'll have to look, you know. Still had lead in the fuel, so they didn't have to have hardened valve seats because it created a nice little soft coating that really preserved them. Kind of interesting. And that bottle is still full. Yeah, well, nothing too crazy in the trunk. Just some old things.
More evidence of ignition work, though.
It does back
Yeah.
what we found, you know. That was neat. At least you got to see what was in the trunk in person.
Yeah, I had no idea. I couldn't remember.
there's no part of the car unexplored now.
My wife didn't have anything to do with me. She worked at Hardee's in the drive-thru, and I'd get off work, stop for an iced tea on the way home, and I was driving this Ford pickup, and then on cruise night, Friday night in Burlington, Iowa there, I showed up with this, and she goes, "What's that?" So I explained her the Satellite 1970, and she's like, "That was really cool." So it was love at first car.
Oh, there you go. Second car.
Yeah, I'll tell you, we've already have plenty of our own memories on this vehicle at this point.
Yep.
That's for sure.
2 days. It's only the second day. Can you believe that? It's felt like a week.
Not a fan of starters. If you missed our last episode, we put a new starter in, which on a Mopar of this vintage apparently is quite the arduous task.
Terrible.
And then, yeah, this one lasted for 4 minutes. It's a remanufactured starter. It reverted back to its pre-remanufactured state of...
Unmanufactured.
Yeah, it demanufactured itself in a
But it
hurry.
was cool to see it fire up, run,
Yep.
shoot fire out of there. That was pretty neat. Put them on.
This is Michael speaking. How can I help you?
Hey, Michael, do you guys have a starter for a 1970 Satellite?
Ah! Can you help me get this bolt off, Dad?
No.
I hate it.
That's the end of the day. We're quite tired. We're taking this brand new starter that's been ran for 100 seconds back off the car.
Not even in a row.
Here, Luke. No. There you go.
Well, I can't see it. The exhaust.
There you go, son. And we're gonna go to AutoZone this time and buy their Duralast starter for $5 more than this one. And it says it has a limited lifetime warranty, and hopefully that's not limited to it has to work.
Why won't it? There we go. It wouldn't even come off. I had the nut off. I was about to freak.
Hang on, I gotta get the stop bolt out.
Ow, buddy.
Hang on. Luke's dead.
Oh, got it.
So, whose channel is this video on right now? We're on Thunderhead 289 here, the end of day 2. I think we put 20 hours into this car. Come on! Come on!
Oh, door handle. Oh no, I left the starter under there. Ah! There's an apple.
No matter how tired you get, you can't screw up the order of your tang tools. Because as long as you can read, that's not even a tang tool. You can put them back in the right drawer. As I try on the 5th drawer, the right drawer.
I found your extension.
Tang tools. Yeah.
Oh no.
Are you kidding?
No wonder that wouldn't run the engine. That's pretty weak.
Yeah, it is.
There, I got you.
Was that the trunk?
I don't know, but it was horrifying. I think it's from when I shut the trunk. It was kind of sprung. It de-sprung itself. These were,
There's a drill on top of it still.
yeah.
The springs rusted out and busted.
No, they just kind of bind. So it's like as it was not this easy to shut. That's why I put this on it.
Oh.
Weird.
All right, let's go to town.
Let's pick stuff up. Call tonight.
We need beers.
I don't know what I need, but I need to not
It
look
feels
at,
like a 2-case night.
I'm not gonna look at a starter. That's what I know.
Oh, we have to go buy a starter.
Ah.
And then we'll do a hydration session. So one of the first things I learned to work on was lawnmowers. I was like, well, I figured out how to get it to run. How do I make it go faster? So I hopped on the early YouTube before it was really established as anything, and learned how to make my lawnmower faster. And my was hanging out that entire time. What? I forgot there's a hole in these pants. Look down, it's just like, hey.
I've worn these pants all weekend and I'm gonna continue it.
Oh, cheers, mate. Grab a stubby. You're a legend.
Probably not the best thing to say after that, man.
Don't grab me stubby late. You're what? cut. We'll come back in the morning.
Oh shoot.
Beef ravioli and meat sauce. Chili and macaroni. Chili with beans.
That's not a good plan for being out in the middle of nowhere. Let's just throw that one away.
Chicken and noodles with vegetables and sauce.
That one will work.
There you go.
That sounds like can live. You got a knife?
Nah.
It's day 3. We're back here on the satellite. I'm putting the 3rd starter on. This is actually the 4th time we've installed the starter now. I'm quite sick of doing this. And this one better not die. Luke right now is getting some bolts to do his carburetor magic. We're going to put a 4-barrel on this 2-barrel intake because that's all we have. And we're going to see if we can make it work. Because it's never been documented anywhere before that anyone's ever done it. And we've always wanted to try it. I'm going to get this starter on. And we'll be back when Luke's back with those bolts and we can get moving on that.
Alright, so a little bit yesterday off camera, I really tried to free up this carburetor and I just don't think it's going to go. You know, we had a rebuild kit for it, but it's really seized up pretty bad. So I think we are going to go for our 4-barrel on the 2-barrel intake swap and see how it goes. Right now we're just getting the carburetor studs out. We have a few interesting pieces to tackle because this is really designed to mount on a 4-barrel intake with a 2-barrel on top of it, not the other way around. So there's a few vacuum leak scenarios that we might have to address. The gasket does cover it, but it doesn't have a lot of just doesn't have a lot of contact in those areas. So I'm going to fill these 4 holes with gasket sealer and whatever holes we're not going to use really with sealer and hope that we don't have any vacuum leak issues. And you know, it's going to get interesting, but I think we can do it. We're going to find out. We'll see how it runs.
Nice.
Oh, that's pretty dope.
Tang tools. Race ya. I bet you my screwdriver is faster than yours, Peckerwood. Yep.
It might run like a potato, but it'll run.
I know, I'm super curious to see how it does run. Just
The
for
biggest,
science.
the biggest thing that could make this whole thing weird is how the vacuum signal acts from this.
It's gonna be, it'll probably idle fine. Well, that carburetor's questionable anyway, but I would assume that idle would be okay. Like low airspeed stuff would be fine. It's like when you really opened it, it would get kind of squirrely.
Ladies and gentlemen, the world's first 4-barrel on a 2-barrel intake. Probably not the world's first, but it's the first one I've ever seen on YouTube.
Yeah, I haven't seen another one on the internet, and just looking at it, I can't imagine why. It's just beginning to be Janko. It's not even all the way there yet.
Oh no.
It is a real scorcher out today. I'll tell you that. We're sweating. The Sport the Boss garage shirt's getting a real workout. I think I sold this from them. Like when we did the engine build in the motel room, they left it in there and I didn't know, and it like got packed into my car somehow the next day, and I got home and I had 2 of these and a Holly shirt that was like Stefan's size. I was like, well, Rich wears a large. Thanks, guys.
Welcome. Alright.
I really thought it was going to be too shiny, but it's so old and rot stain covered that it actually just fits in.
And the actual reason this carburetor was just sitting on the shelf, I guess, is because I decommissioned it because the throttle shaft is actually so worn that it kind of works as a vacuum leak. So, you know, I do actually have my reamer kit. If it won't idle, I'll just go ahead and ream the throttle shaft, bore out and bush it, and then we can try again. But, you know, it definitely is an old used carburetor. It's 60 to 80,000 miles on that thing.
All right, there we go. We got a fuel source. We're going to hook up power to it. I have the pump facing the right way, so we're not going to fill the bucket with engine. We're going to fill the engine with bucket. We're good.
She's going. She's got fuel. I can hear it.
I can see it in the sights.
It's building pressure. There it is.
Ready?
Yep.
First start in 35 years, 4-barrel on a 2-barrel. Hang on. Yep, we ran out of gas.
Oh, you didn't have the fuel pump on, Uncle Rick.
Oh no, Marty!
Oh no, Marty.
8 days of no fuel adventure. We're so dumb.
That makes a big difference.
We do.
Uh,
There's smoke coming out of here somewhere.
is there? I think it's coming out of.
The everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, it had a huge vacuum leak. Oh, it's literally idling. What the hell? I forgot. That's where I put my vacuum gauge. Dude, it's idling.
That is incredible! 35 years! Woo!
Here, hang on. Yeah, that's charging.
That alternator still works.
All right, so we cut it down and check things over. Change the oil time.
Dude, that is incredible. This is our oldest survival. This thing fought us so hard.
Dude,
And here it is idling.
stuck valve, stuck distributor, ignition, God knows where. 4 stuck valves. 2-barrel intake, sees carburetor, 4-barrel carburetor on it. That's wild. That is
Absolutely buried in there. All 4 tires are seized, stuck in gear.
that throttle shaft has a massive vacuum leak and it's still idling. And it even revs clean.
Yeah, it like revs good with a 4-barrel. God, that's incredible.
That's crazy.
And our starter still, well, maybe it still works.
Yeah, you want to bump it? Well,
Our wires are a little close to the everything, but yeah, let's see if it fires again. Oh wait, that was already on.
hold on. Let me put my finger over the
Oh,
the massive vacuum leak.
de-enrichment modulator engaged.
You're kidding. Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you right now.
8 starters adventure, Morty.
How is this possible? There's no way, right? There's no way. This can't be physically possible. It's not possible. I don't believe it. I'm not gonna believe it.
Oh, what the hell? You have to never shut it off again. Change the oil when it's running. It's raining, pouring in here. We're out of fuel, Morty.
We're out of gas, Rick.
All right. So what did you do different when it started working again?
Nothing. I just hit the button.
You just
I
kept hitting it?
Oh, it's covered in oil. Click, and it went.
What is the deal?
What in the Mopar is going on here?
Everything has been like
Starters.
just climbed a huge mountain, and then just the starter is getting us. That will be is that the 4th or 5th time?
No, this is the 4th time we've put a starter on this car. The 3rd individual starter. Something's got to be not right. It can't. There's no way we actually killed them that fast. What could possibly be doing that?
I don't get it.
Maybe we're just losing connection on the battery.
We have just, you think maybe we just have a bad feel? I don't know. That's bad.
So without further ado, let's see if we can get this sucker running again and see if we can get it driving. Hey Luke,
Yeah.
I got an 1/8 inch thread on the back of this that needs plugged to that vacuum leak. What do we have for 1/8 inch thread? Do we have anything?
Well, if it was just 1/8 inch, but is it an 1/8 inch MPT?
Yeah, it's an NPT. I don't want to sacrifice your carb and like fill it with silicone or something. Yeah, anything in that car? Oh my god.
I don't know though, because it's a fuel pressure gauge. If it has vacuum on it, it'll ruin it. But that should be an 1/8 inch. It's yours though. It's not mine. We're already down the path
It's a
of.
Summit part. It'll probably screw into a Summit carb.
It's already down the path of jankoness with the zip tie.
Oh my god, it works.
Fuel pump's hot.
Here we
Hang
go.
on, let's give it a pump.
Oh, my foot. I got my lamp chain, the ignition switch. And I found this to be useful. I can stand way the hell over here and not get hit. Yeah, we got a vacuum leak for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there went that one.
It's up front.
Yep, we must have lost our silicone.
That's fine.
So.
We need to go get zinc anyway to put in the oil.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Oh, God.
Yep, they got the gasket sealer. That's what it was though. There's our vacuum leak. That's what we figured might happen.
We were just really anxious to see it run.
Yeah, I couldn't wait.
So we'll just readdress that with new silicone, take a trip to town, get lunch, get parts, and come on back. So you may have noticed that we've had this campfire going the whole time. And what's going on here is every once in a while, we'll take a break from the satellite and come cut out the dead limbs in these apple trees that are also quite neglected at this point. So we're trying to not only get the car going, but help their property. We cut down all those trees over there to get the car out, and we gotta drag them all to the back. We noticed this guy hasn't been able to mow under here for a long time. Byron's mother is actually who lives here. She's probably in her, I'd say 90s by now. So, yeah, so they're not really able to keep up with the property. So we thought, hell, let's give them a hand while we're here. Cut down some of these trees and just burn them so that they can mow. So kind of a couple things are going on here. We're fixing the car, cleaning up the property, just out here working for a week, you know? Leaving the place better than when we found it. Oh. Get it?
Yep. Dude, it's like literally, did it sit in the ocean or what?
How did that?
How's it? Aren't
Snails.
Aren't those in the water? I'm not.
Nah, snails do what snails want to do, but you know.
Dang. Try that one right there.
Alright, Jess, I'm gonna have to stand here. Come on, snap on.
Uh-oh.
Why? And I saved the world.
Why? Can't even. Have we introduced Steve yet?
So Steve, the guy behind me right now, Steve is the one that found the car back here one day looking for his dog that ran out, and sent me a picture. And he just walked up while we were doing this. He's like, "Hey, don't forget, Mopars are a right-hand thread on the driver's side."
What? Look.
Why would you ever need to do that?
Can't even make that up. All that effort we just went through, check it out.
Why would you ever do that?
I wouldn't even have thought to Google that.
That should never exist.
Look at that.
There's no reason.
Wow, that is a weird deal. Never knew. Learn something every day, I guess. Oh.
It ran pretty good, and then the starter started acting up again. Another starter.
Look at that, that's literally tree roots. The tree roots growing through the wheel.
And then things start working. So.
It's crazy. Technically, these should go this way to loosen up, right? Like normal. Yep, these are the other way. That's weird. Look at that. I'm pretty encouraged though. Look, no heat, no nothing.
Maybe these drums aren't going to be that bad to get off. I say as we drag the car with 2 vans, but the wheels don't move an inch. Metric tang tool socket. It's actually the impact one too.
Oh, we got them all. That's it. They're all loose.
We did it. Now for, you know, the actually hard part, getting the drums off.
Yeah, well that assumes that we can get the wheels off.
This part was supposed to be really easy until we realized it was made by Mopar.
I think he's got a vendetta against Mopar now.
Oh, I'll just enjoy this shade for a bit. Wow, that's a lot of rust.
Oh, dude. There's like a whole ant colony in there. You can see how deep it was. This is not a safe place to put my foot.
There's 2 jacks under there, you're good. Yeah,
Oh, no. Gee whiz, that's seized on. I would have never guessed.
How are we going to get that off?
The car is having an identity crisis. It thinks it's a tree.
It's really hot out today, and we definitely screwed up and said right-hand thread earlier, and it was a left-hand thread. But if you have a center axle that turns a certain direction, and you put a nut on the end, sometimes, and there's a load, it may work itself loose. But it has to be on that center axle. So it would have to be here for that theory of a reverse thread to work. But it's not. It's out here. This lug does not spin. It rotates, but the lug does not spin. So reverse thread doesn't do anything, right?
I don't know, it's too hot to think about it. You're doing the engineering today.
Apply the engineering to this thing with that hammer.
Here we go, this is my engineering.
So what's happening here is we're trying to simply slide this off, but it's rusted to the brake shoes, and they want to rotate and pinch themselves in. So usually I get a slide hammer in about 15 minutes of my life and just pull this thing off around and around and around. But someone forgot to bring the slide hammer, and that was me. So I don't know what to do.
This is character building. Look at all this character we have now.
Are you kidding?
That went a mile though.
I can see in it.
What
It's been 2 hours.
What is it doing? Look at that. Look at that. And wow, it was just because
There's no trunk.
look, it's still stuck
metal,
to it.
It's metal to metal. Oh no, it's not. Yeah, it actually.
Look at all the parts. Broke springs and everything.
We did break all the springs almost, besides those top ones. You know, the ones holding it on.
It's at least encouraging to know we can do it.
2 hours of work off camera for Luke to bust this one side off. How about a break?
Is that a joke?
No. So after the first 2 hour debacle, we've perfected a method to do this.
A method.
A method to warp these cast drums off of this car. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Oh, we got it!
Look at that. They literally.
We never did slide it. We just twisted them until everything broke.
Yeah, those are asbestos probably.
Yeah, I'll have it for supper.
I think we already did. Be gone, Satan! The power of this hammer compels thee.
Go away. Oh, man, that is what got something in my eye?
And look at this.
I can't. We're gonna put the rims back on without drums because those drums are gacked.
They're gone.
It'll never be good for anything besides scrap metal. Probably not even that.
No, it hit the cooler.
Ugh. Get the f up. Well, I'll put my impact into reverse and put these wheels back on. Oh, it's got a balance band. Or
Whatever they are.
I think there were something with the harmonics or noise or something. Whatever it is, it's junk.
There's a giant spider on it.
Please tell me you got Luke's face on film.
Look at that thing.
Ah! Please, God, I wish you guys could have seen Luke's face. He was like,
I did not want to have that on me.
that was amazing.
Aw.
You have one too?
Listen here, you. Oh, God.
What? Why are you so dumb? Luke, you're gonna break the car.
The trunk fell out. Oh, everyone's soul.
Everything shakes. I mean, like, everything shakes. Maybe I can just take the drum off with it.
Yay!
There we go.
All right. All right, you ready?
Yep.
There is so much rust falling out from between the drum.
You should see the inside. It smells so bad in here. Help.
It's coming.
There's always a way to do something, even if you have nothing. Always. Oh, hang on, puller fell off.
There they are. The pads, once again, are on the inside still.
No, it doesn't look like we messed up any of our bearing races, and our bearing even looks good.
Yeah.
But yeah, the pads are just... We ripped the pads off of the shoes.
That's the only way to do it. That's literally what we've done on every single one of them.
So there we have it. That is 3 free wheels. We had to chisel out the old brake pads so that it could do a rotation. But we were one step closer to being back on the road.
Yep.
Actually, they'll probably never be back on the road in our hands. So we're one step closer to driving it across this grassy yard.
Yeah. But it might move under its own power.
It should, yeah. All right, we're gonna cut now. We'll come back when the other wheel's done because we know what to do. We're just gonna power through it before we lose light. Supper's served.
Thanks, Dad.
No problem, son. Provide for your family, you know. MREs, again.
This is better than dog food I eat at home.
Yeah, that's actually true.
Oh, dude, my feet are like all pruned because they're so sweaty. This is really appetizing.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Dude. Give me those socks. Give me your socks. Give.
Do you really want to?
And the other one?
Oh shoot. You gotta burn those. They're bad.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
They're done.
straight to the fire. Oh, my arm.
All right, so while Kevin's going to get the lawnmower and clean up our yard a little bit here, we yesterday went to O'Reilly's and got a new carb spacer, because if you look at that guy, it's kind of bowed, and this was on an engine beforehand, and really these don't work too well if you try and reuse them and they dry out and whatever, and you can see it's even kind of split. So that might have been a little bit of our vacuum leak, I'm not sure. We just opted to get another one. So I'm going to get this guy thrown on here and then get our carburetor bolted on and everything, and just keep moving right along. It's looking pretty promising today.
Good running machine. I tell ya.
He's the weight reduction model.
E-twin. I bet you my lawnmower's faster than yours, Peckerwood.
Gotta get it. Good, son.
Yeah? So not only did we revive this car, but we revived this backyard. We spent the last 3 days cutting up all these trees and stuff like we showed you earlier, and we got this sucker cleaned up real nice. They can actually mow around the trees, which I would say they haven't been able to do in 5 years from the looks of all this wood.
Dude, we cut a lot out.
We cut a lot of trees out.
That's crazy.
I can't believe how little that pile of ash is. We burnt like the equivalent of a tree. But we got this place looking good and feeling good. Lord.
Had to get pretty creative to make our Summit Holley style carburetor throttle cable work, so we're just using hardware that we found laying around out here in the car, and I think it's gonna work out okay. Jamming up these together. You want to pull it really quick, see if it works? Do we even know if the gas pedal works? Oh yeah, it does its job.
It doesn't return. Alright, we put a second spring on. That's what I want to see.
Yep. Overcoming.
That gas pedal works.
Yeah, it's a little sticky, but with the 2 springs, I guess it's overcoming our resistance and it's doing all right.
All right, we're ready to run, right?
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. Fuel coming at you. Fuel's hot.
Float bowl's filling.
Yep, they're full in 3, 2, 1.
There we go. We got 5 pounds of pressure on it.
Alright, here we go.
Give it 1 bump.
We already gave it like 5, remember? Yeah. Goddamn Mopar stuff. Are you kidding me?
It's that.
Go ahead.
It's actually just idling on its own. Throttle shaft vacuum leak.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's the throttle shaft vacuum leak.
Look at that.
We're not even messing with you guys. We didn't even want. Oh, we almost got our fuel line in half. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's still absolutely dead cold.
It is. Look at this. I can hand on the exhaust.
And it fired up and ran that well.
What's the manifold vacuum? Dude, it's got almost like...
It's got 19 pounds.
all the engines of Mercury.
This is like a good engine.
Dude, that's crazy. And that is a 4-barrel carburetor on a 2-barrel intake.
It runs so good.
Sucking it going down.
This thing runs like a new car. Like,
Look, it's dead steady. That means all the valves are working like they should.
we didn't make any valves.
It's like,
You got a nickel.
oh dude, we could, if this car's sitting level, we could balance a coin on the air cleaner. We were really good. Look at that.
The fan got it.
That's crazy.
Still cap.
Oh, I knew that. That even runs good. It's shooting flames out the exhaust. Look at it. Healthy.
This is a really good engine.
Yeah. That's crazy we started with an engine with stuck valves.
It has 4 stuck valves and it's in here idling like a brand new motor.
That's just incredible.
Alright, let's change the oil.
Yeah, oil change time. Oh, here we go. Better cut the ignition off.
I'll get the pump. Dude, that's absurd. That thing runs so good.
That's a milestone.
Alright, so we're finally dropping our oil here. Usually we like to do this right away, but the service records on this oil stated that it was changed just before this car was parked. It's a little black from sitting, but this is still good oil. Like the viscosity between your fingers still feels good. There's no grit in it, and it doesn't feel like it's broken down at all. So when we're putting the new oil in, we're going to put a zinc additive in because this is a flat tappet camshaft. And you used to not have to do this. There we go. That's the one. Used to not have to do this back when we had zinc in our oil, but ever since the advent of catalytic converters, manufacturers have moved away from that because the zinc in the oil would ruin a catalytic converter. So if you have an older car, chances are you have a flat tappet camshaft and you have to run zinc. It acts as a sacrificial layer on the camshaft to wear out so that you don't wear your camshaft out. And if you don't have it, guess what? Bye-bye camshaft. There's my bucket full. I need another bucket. So we like to get this oil warm before we drop it too, to break up any sediment that's been sitting around and get it out of the oil pan into this jar. And we'll throw a new filter on, toss the zinc in, 5 quarts of oil, well, offset from the zinc, so I think it's 4 quarts, and we'll be good to go.
So we got the old oil filter off, and actually we haven't got to cleaning the car out, but there was a new one sitting here. Let's just see, like, I don't recognize that oil filter whatsoever, and you can see just how long this thing sat. The oil filter's all rusted. Look how clean it is. Just check this out for a second. Oh, darn it, it's rusty.
Lee! It's an LF one instead of an FL one.
Luke, can't say my last name one. So anyway, we're just gonna throw our Wix filter on here and continue on with our oil change. That's pretty cool. If that wasn't rusty, I would be tempted to put that in. That's freaking cool. We're still excavating on the car a little bit because we haven't been able to get the passenger door open. So we really haven't touched anything on this side. Oh no! You ruined it. You're fired.
I found a bottle of super anti-rust, and there's still some in it, so clearly they did not use it on this car.
So we're gonna just go ahead and fill our oil filter before we put it on so that we have oil pressure immediately when we fire the engine. Probably shouldn't be doing this on the fender, but you know, it's fine. Go.
So I did some Googling, because I've always been curious about this, and I finally found some good answers. On the Classic Thunderbird Club International's webpage, a guy named Gil's Garage, Gil Baumgartner, did a test with engine oils. He actually had them sent to a lab. First, to establish a baseline, I started with a 1980s vintage Pennzoil 10W40. It contained 547 parts per million of phosphorus and 716 parts per million of zinc. That's the old 80s oil that contains zinc. And then he checked a new current version of Shell Rotella, which was 1,133 parts per million of zinc. The Redline Racing oil was 1,180. The Comp Cam engine break-in only has 639 parts per million.
Do you have anything on the STP stuff?
Yep, the last test done was the STP oil treatment in the blue bottle. It contained 378 parts per million of phosphorus and 553 parts per million of zinc. One 15-ounce bottle added to a 6-core oil change boosts the ZDP content to 40.4 parts per million of zinc. And that falls short of the 1980s oil, which would have been run in this engine. So we need 2 bottles that will give us about 1,000 parts per million, which is somewhere around 80 to 90 parts per million in the oil once it's mixed in with 5 quarts.
So we're good, we got 2.
Yep, throw 2 of them in and we're mint.
Awesome.
So that finally gives you a definitive answer. 2 of these will definitely protect your engine, and they're way cheaper than the Lucas oil stuff. You can get these at Walmart, I think, for about $3.50 bucks. See if this pops that clutch for you perchance. I doubt it, but you never know.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Hopefully we'll have only a couple seconds to lift or clatter, and then we'll have oil pressure.
I didn't even touch it, it just starts right up. Are the wheels moving? This engine burns absolutely no oil. There is
no blow-by.
none. There's nothing coming out of the breather. There's nothing coming out of the exhaust, except for flames when we rev it.
There's no PCC on it, so it's not pulling through.
You got a bunch of oil on your face.
We hook up the fuel pump.
The fuel pump had no power. Oh darn, if only we had a perpetual motion energy machine or free energy machine or whatever people always say.
Well, if only we plugged the battery in.
So right now our clutch pressure plate, or our friction plate is seized. So what we're doing is we got the engine in gear, and Kevin's trying to jump up and down on the clutch pedal, and hopefully the torque of the engine and the wheels will break it free, you know. You got up to 20. I'm scared this could stick. That's definitely first gear. Yep. It's hard to keep working on it just because I enjoy the engine running so much.
It runs so good.
Alright, so against my better judgment here, I got a little scraper. I'm going to try and hammer this in between the pressure plate, or I guess the flywheel and the clutch, and see if we can help them separate it all. So I don't necessarily condone this. If it goes bad, I'll stop pretty quick. I don't want to destroy what's left of the clutch plate, but anyway, we'll see. Hopefully the car doesn't rust in half and fall on me. Alright, so I don't know if you guys can see from this angle, but basically I'm just taking this little scraper and putting it in between the friction plate on the clutch and the flywheel, and just hammering it in and trying to break that rust weld that's holding it all together. And it's actually going pretty well, so I'm just going to get this one all freed up at least as much as I can, and then rotate the engine and do this again, and hopefully it just it gets rid of enough of it where we can bump it and it'll free itself. A little bit more. Perfect.
There you go. Last spot. Whew. Meanwhile, I'll give them the last of these trees hauled out of here. Really get this place cleaned up.
Oh, I think you got it. Go up.
Just a second.
Oh yeah, go down. All right, try the other two. Okay, we have all the gears.
Dude, we have a working 4-speed.
And we have the trend.
Hang on. There we go. Yeah, we have 4 working gears, a working 3-speed.
Yeah, and I checked the transmission fluid. We're actually up to it. You know, it looks decent, and our rear end fluid looks decent. So I hope that's one of the last times I'm under this car.
Oh! Look at the clutch!
The clutch works?
Yeah, look.
Wait.
That's in?
You got it pushed in?
Yeah.
The clutch works.
I can shift gears.
No freaking way!
No, that one's
Oh, man, that was reversed. Don't have any bushings left on the column, but it's fine.
I'm still driving a little, but I haven't budged.
Give her the beans. Dude, let's get it on the ground.
Turn her off, eh? Yeah, the speedometer works. Not very well, but it does work. Now we're gonna vacuum out the interior, drop this thing on the ground, and rip across the yard.
We have a totally functional car, except there's no car attached to anything anymore.
Yeah, we have a really good engine, a working transmission, and a spinning rear end with 4 free tires attached to a bucket of rust.
Let's see if it drives.
Let's do it.
We're close.
So we're trying to get the door open here, clean out the interior the rest of the way. We're just not wanting to do it. But moral of the story, we're gonna clean out the interior and get it so that we can get in this car, rig up a fuel system, get a kill switch that we can use for brakes by engine braking. And we're good to go. Take this thing for a drive. There it goes. We got windows. We can Dukes of Hazzard if nothing else.
Need some new valve cover gaskets? Dude, check that out. You remember what he told us the other day?
Hardee's. That's where he met his wife. Was at Hardee's.
I bet
In
you-
this car.
Yeah, he said that he used to go to the Hardee's in his truck, and then he went there in this car, and that's what kind of reeled her in. I wouldn't be surprised if that's from there. Here, I got a whole box for you. What is
Could I have the stuff in the box too?
Here, here's the outside of the box.
There's a flashlight.
Ow.
I'm just gonna throw this away.
Oh, hey, look, a whole roll of tools. There you go.
Thank you.
Hey, here's the dice.
Did you really find them?
Yeah.
Ha!
Remember he said they were hanging from the mirror?
You said there used to be fuzzy dice.
Yeah, here's the string. Huh. There you go.
Yep.
Pretty much does it for that.
Chicken McNuggets. You know, that gives me an idea.
so low. Uh-oh. It's so much lower.
It is way low.
Got used to it being so high there.
That's it, right? Interior's clean, fuel system's hooked up.
Yep.
We got everything rigged so that we can start from right here. God, that starts so good. No accelerator pump whatsoever.
Yeah,
Fires right
just
off.
fires right off. Yeah, we got our jump pack inside the car where all you have to do is connect the positive lead here to the hod of the fuel pump, and then it's pumping fuel. So we got that done. I think we're ready to see if we can go down the road, or at least go around the backyard. All right, so that pretty much does it for the mechanical portion of our 1970 satellite revival here. So going forward, jump on to Kevin Junkyard Digs, his YouTube channel here, for the continuation of our series and the finale where we finally drive this thing. We rip it around a little bit, hopefully. So with that, I think we're out for this video. Tune in next time.
Hey bud, you want to do me a favor and hit the old go button?
Oh yeah, eh? Here we go.
I don't know if you can see it, but it's literally like, I guess it's not steam. What is it? Is it steam?
I don't know. It's been a long week. There's
Very cold.
there's a misty, airy thing, smoke coming off of this bottle because it's so humid here.
It is so hot out. I have successfully smashed these fingers in the door.
Actually, I smashed his fingers in the door as I shut the door on his
I was
fingers.
like, oh, the lamp chain's stuck. So I went to reach my arm all the way through and pull it out. But I got my fingers in and the door went shut. Thanks to the Mopar design of how they designed their windows, I'll have you come around and look. They have a flat metal blade, which goes under a sharp angled metal blade, which is otherwise known as a scissors.
This is Kevin's finger, and this is what I did to it. Oops.
My finger fit in that gap.
It became a lot wider and flatter all of a sudden.
I can't move my hand. Open it, open it, open it up.
But in the meantime, we now have a functional clutch pedal that returns with a little bungee strap.
Which actually was in the car originally.
Yeah, I bet you it was even for that.
Let us show you how we operate this car. We have a bungee cord zip tied to the clutch pedal so that it actually returns, or else it just slips. We have a lampshade to control the ignition. The starter button's up there, I can't reach it. It's actually on the windshield wiper. Luke has the fuel pump relay, by which we mean a booster pack and a wire. So we have fuel. Put it in neutral. Could you start me, please, sir? So there it is. This car is out of the backyard and into the front yard where it initially was 35 years ago. Ah, you know what we forgot to do?
Oh, we never checked the brakes.
We never checked the brakes. All right, ready? Brake test. Here we go. All right, hit the brakes.
Anchors away.
No! No, Kevin!
Dude, that was epic. Oh, holy crap. I hope you guys enjoyed the shit out of this series.
Dude,
we sure did.
One heck of a good time.
That was the most epic week of my life. We had so much fun.
I can't believe we did that with this car. This whole thing.
This car was absolutely buried above the axle. There was dirt over the axle 4 days ago. 4 days ago. And we just ripped a huge burnout in this thing after sitting abandoned for 35 years. So the stuff we did was insane.
I don't know how we did it, honestly.
We ate MREs.
So close.
We ate MREs and slept in vans. Look at those. We lived in those for 5 days out here in the woods.
It was crazy. It was like a roller coaster. It was like, oh, it's gonna work. Oh no. Oh.
It's like, oh, the engine's stuck, and then it's like, oh, we got out of gear, and then oh, the valves are stuck, and then oh, we got it. We got the valves
shoot.
free, the clutch is seized, the brakes are seized. Thank you to Byron and Russell and Steve for finding and selling us this car and being so hospitable during this whole time. And thank you to you guys for watching and enjoying it and subscribing to these two channels. We will see you next time on a revival here on Thunderhead 289 or Junkyard Digs. Peace. That was a big burnout. So you remember your son driving that back in the day? That's pretty cool. It's 35 years since it's been parked back there. I bet you haven't seen it in a long time.
I have. Well, I've seen it sitting out there with the tires in the ground.
Yep.
I don't usually walk back that far anyway. I don't even go back. I've never been past that fence to see that graveyard.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, we got it all done now. We chopped up some of your trees back there, cleaned up the apple trees.
Russell said, how neat. That's great.
Yeah, we got
If you want to stick around, I got some more you can put.